Hello, everyone. I'm Anumani, your modern day shaman and the author of Unmasking Your Soul, a transformational journey of truth, light, and healing. And today I have a special guest, Toti Cadavid. Hi, Toti.
Hi, Anumani. Hi,
It's
everybody.
wonderful to have you here. And
Thank you.
if you
Glad to be here.
if you'd also would like to say hello to our Latino audience.
Ay, hola. Un abrazo inmenso para todas nuestras seguidoras latinas.
Sí, es un placer tenerte con nosotros aquí, Toti.
Muchas gracias.
I'm going to read Toti's bio and then we're going to get started. So Toti is a seasoned multicultural branding, marketing, and communication strategist with great expertise in both domestic and international markets. After a second near-death experience, Toti went through a transformational journey to find purpose, meaning, and inner alignment. She then became a best-selling author, speaker, trainer, certified coach, and launched You Fulfilled in 2014, a branding and leadership development company that helps executives and business leaders build real personal leadership and corporate brand value. Toti is a co-author of Pebbles in the Pond, Wave 4. She's one of my co-authors, which days after its release reached bestseller status in 9 countries. Prior to You Fulfilled, Toti spent the first 10 years of her career in the corporate sector, designing and implementing fully integrated local and global marketing, branding, and communication efforts for companies such as AT&T and the Hallmark Channel. During the second decade of her career, Toti was president and CEO of Excelente, a cross-cultural marketing and communications agency, which under her leadership helped over 152 clients launch or rebuild their brands in the Hispanic marketplace. Toti currently sits on the boards of the Denver Metro Chamber of Commerce, the Colorado Health Foundation, Junior Achievement, El Pomar Foundation's Denver Council, and the University of Colorado's Jake Jabb Center for Entrepreneurship. Toti was recognized in 2005 as one of the nation's top Latina business entrepreneurs by Hispanic Magazine, as a finalist by the Colorado Rockies for the Hispanic Heritage Leadership Award, and by the Denver Business Journal as one of the top 40 under 40 business leaders in Colorado. In 2006, Toti received the Businesswoman of the Year award by the Denver Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, the Minority Small Business Champion Award by the SBA, and was named a Woman of Distinction by the Girl Scouts in 2007. Toti was recognized in 2016 with the HIP Giver Award by the National Hispanics in Philanthropy Foundation. Toti is a native of Colombia, lives in Lone Tree, Colorado with her husband, Luis Colon, and their children. And I am so honored to have you as my guest today.
Thank you so much. The honor is all mine.
So, Toti, I always like to start everyone with the same question, which is, what is your definition of soul? This program is all about unmasking your soul. And you and I know about that well. I think that the experiences that we've had of really allowing ourselves to be more of ourselves, to be more authentic. And I know that you believe in that as much as I do. So tell us about your definition of soul.
Well, to me, my soul is my essence. It's the purest thing there is in me. Is there something that existed before I was born into this body, and something that will be there existing after this physical state here in this round.
Beautiful. Yes, and I absolutely resonate with that, the essence of who we are, which is why I created this program, so that people can connect more with that part of themselves. And you've had, wow, an amazing journey. You've had 2 near-death experiences. So can you tell our audience about what led you to where you are today and your own journey of unmasking? And what were the things that happened that you had to embrace to get to where you are today?
Sure. Well, I think that I'm a big believer that we have chosen before we come into this life what we were, our purpose, what we were supposed to achieve, and that sometimes when we don't achieve that, or we have taken a different road, life will, nudge you, or it will push you, it will give you some awakening, wake up call, really, to just wake you up if you haven't. So I started my career in the corporate world, like you were saying, and I spent a decade there and another decade as a successful entrepreneur. I was able to take my company to 7 figures. And at that point in my life, work was everything. I was working, my gosh, 24/7, really. I was working over 120 hours per week, probably, just because it was day, nights, weekends. And when your life becomes that unbalance, something has to happen. The universe is there for you to make you realize what's going on and how and the mistakes that one is making. And so, since to me, material things, achieving more of everything, having the bigger house, the latest car, the more accounts, the higher positions, that was what I was pursuing. I think that those two near-death experiences really woke me up to what was really important. So after my second near-death experience, I woke up to realize that the way I was living my life was not good. I was being, I have dream of being this leader, this amazing person that people would respect for who they are, and was making this great impact in the world, and had also the money and the recognition because of the good work that the person was doing. And I had become this very mediocre leader, and I had become this. The most important thing for me were my children, my family, my husband. That I was too busy for them, too busy for my friends, too busy for my family, and so I was not the person I wanted to be. And so when this happened, I realized that I needed to do something different with my life, and I went into a hiatus. I hid for a while, trying to just really look inside and recognize what I've done, what I haven't, and be able to really reconnect with myself and see why I was looking for all those things that I had pursued for 20 years. And realized that really I was following somebody else's idea of what I needed to do with my life, my mother's, and society's idea of success. And then I said, no, but I'm not happy. I wasn't happy. So what can I do to really understand what is it that I want? What is success for me? And what do I want to do with my life? And that's when I received a lot of coaching, and I started seeing the world in a different way. And I became passionately in love with finding myself and with pursuing things that came from my heart. And so I launched a new company. I left my old company during this process. I launched a new company, and I started doing this for other people. So really it was the universe that helped me with that. Through those two wake-up calls, they helped me get my life back into the right road.
So I'm sure that the audience is a little curious. Can you talk a little bit about your second near-death experience? And when we have these experiences, it is the way that our soul and the universe tries to get our attention. Hopefully not all of us having near-death experiences, but I too had a near-death experience, and I'm sure people are curious what that was like for you and what you felt, in that moment. So can you talk a little bit about what happened and then what happened?
Sure. So my husband and I were driving he's Puerto Rican. We were in Puerto Rico, and it was Thanksgiving Day. We were driving, and he lost control of the car, and we ran into a mountain, a small mountain, going at 60 miles per hour, and it was on my side. So it was like diagonally on my side is where we hit the mountain. So it was a huge miracle that I was that I was still alive, really, after that accident. And yeah, I had a fractured neck, and I had a fractured foot, and, bruises and cuts and whatever, but I was alive. And really just took that moment of realizing that I was almost gone to just take inventory of my life. So at the moment when that happened, I didn't know how to take this. I didn't know, but nothing was ever the same after I came back home from that accident. Nothing. So something happened. I erased from my mind the details about what happened right after the accident, the hours that followed that, but I know that nothing was ever the same.
And you talked about knowing that you needed to change your life, right? That you needed to be more of yourself. So was there a particular mask? Because, in this segment, we talk about the masks that we wear. One of the masks that I wore for such a long time was, people pleasing and thinking that I had to live my life through others instead of really living the life that was within me. So was there a particular mask that was difficult for you, or that you noticed, after this happened, that was holding you back from who you really were?
I think there were several, not just one in my case. Knowing that I was following my mother's and society's and the idea of success, I had to take out of that mask of I am only valued by the material possessions that I have. I also had to take off the mask of I was inside not a very confident person. And so I had to take off the mask I had put on, I can do it all, and be able to be humbled and say, I can't do it all. I can do some things really well, and there are other things that I cannot do that well. And it's okay. And I had a mask also on, I can never show the world the real me because I wasn't accepting of the real me. And so I became a very open person where I don't mind being vulnerable and showing what I have felt and sharing really what I have been able to overcome personally and professionally.
That's beautiful. Yeah, and all those masks I resonate with as well. I think throughout our journeys, we wear many masks, right? And we start to peel back. As we start to peel back who we really are, those masks start to drop off.
Mm-hmm.
So you worked with many different organizations, some big companies. Can you talk a little bit about some of the masks that you saw people wearing in organizations that you helped to build their brands or to rebrand? Some of the things that you saw that maybe now you're seeing differently as you step into the world to help people, organizations, to live from a different place.
Absolutely. So I realized that I was surrounded by people who were also living somebody else's idea of success. It's the type of people that you say, how are you? And the response is, oh, I'm so busy. Like, they're not really happy. They're not balanced. They're not in touch with what their heart is calling them to be and what their soul is calling them to do with their lives. And when there is that incongruence, that misalignment, nothing really feels right. Not our personal life, not our business life, not our careers. We might hide behind addictive behaviors. We might drink too much or chop too much or, any in my case, I worked too much. And we may become really good at something, but not happy, not fulfilled. And I realized that there were a lot of people around me suffering from the same thing. That was one of the reasons why I, since my accident, since after realizing, what I wanted to, that I was not living a fulfilling life, I launched this company to just help leaders, executives, and business leaders build lives and careers and businesses that are really in touch with not only who they are, but what they are really wanting to do in this life.
Yeah, and that's wonderful work that you're doing. I always, when I was in corporate, there was a part of me that struggled with how do I bring that soul part of me into what I'm doing? How do I marry the spiritual, right? The left brain and the right brain.
Yeah.
You're doing that now because, you had all those experiences that woke you up to a deeper part of yourself. So can you talk to our audience about how you're bringing that into your work and the work that you're doing now to help leaders surrender more to who they are?
Yeah. So it was very difficult because, especially for me, since I had a 20-year career in marketing, branding, and communications, public relations. So what I had done before that was help people in a way. I mean, some companies and some executives that we were doing public relations for were really amazing organizations and individuals. But for the most part, marketing is something that we do from the outside in, meaning, what is it that we will ask? What is it that you want us to do for you? And they will say, well, I want people to think of me as so and so. I want the company to grow in attracting this particular type of customers. And we will create these campaigns and these public relations efforts that will allow them to become whatever it was that they thought they wanted to become, or the organization wanted to become. The problem was that because it was taken from the outside in, it was not soul driven. It was not something that their heart was dictating. And the problem with that is that it's fake. So yes, we will make amazing campaigns and they will get the customers, but at some point those customers were in those organizations and they were not feeling the message that we had invited them through. Or they will meet this executive and they will not feel what we were selling them on. So what I decided was that I couldn't do that type of work anymore. And what I wanted was to help people, individuals and companies, realize what were they great about. We all come with these amazing gifts. And so even two people doing marketing or two people selling, just for the sake of an example, selling ice cream, they would not be selling in the same way. People would have these amazing gifts that attract a certain amount of people to them. So now I love helping people realize what it is that they're here to do and achieve in life. Helping them remove these patterns and these barriers that have been there, not letting them see through who they are. And then we can build brands that are really amazing, because if they will feel good, now they can be themselves. Now the message is totally aligned with who they are. And they build companies and they build businesses that they are thrilled to have, because they know exactly why they're doing it, the impact they're having in the customers that they serve, and and they can be themselves wherever they are.
Yeah, that's wonderful. This reminds me of some of the aspects of what I do in terms of telling leaders that, the more they are themselves, right, the more effective leaders they become, and it becomes like a chain reaction in your organization, that the more authentic you are as a leader, then your employees are going to do the same, and it reflects in your brand and in your marketing and in your customers really feeling that come through. So
Absolutely. It's
yeah,
that people make business with people. We don't make businesses with companies. So it's all about the people. It's all about who the person is.
yeah, that's wonderful. So if you were going to give some advice, right, to our audience watching, any potential leaders out there, what would you tell them in terms of where do they start to do this type of work?
I would say that they have to start with a period of reflection. They have to realize what is it that they want to do in this lifetime. It's like working backwards, looking at themselves as a 90-year-old person and looking at their life and seeing, when I was 45, what did I want to do? What I did this, that, and that. To my wife, I was this. To my children, I was that. In my work, to my employees, I was able to achieve, to grow these people in a certain manner. To my community, I was able to make an impact in this whatever manner. And then look, as a 90-year-old, what would make that 90-year-old very proud of the person they were at 40, 45, 50, 55, and then do that. Life, we don't know how long life is going to be, but if we are able to understand what it is that we want to do with our lives, then why not start not only finding that out, but living that type of life? Because when one starts living that type of life, it's like our heart is vibrating all the time. Like we are just fulfilled. We wake up happy to do what it is that we do for a living. And we go to bed so satisfied for having done and touched lives in the way that we did during the day.
I love that. And you remind me of a quote by Maya Angelou. I'm not sure I'm going to get this right, but you're reminding me of what's the legacy that you want to leave in your life, in all areas of your life, right? Your family, your career. And she said something like, people don't remember what you say, they remember how you make them feel. And how you make them feel is coming from that inside part of you, the part of you that's connected to your soul, the part of you that wants to feel and express that joy and that happiness that we all are able to do when we can tap into that source within. So thank you for that. That's really wonderful. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with our audience?
Well, there's plenty of things to share. I will say that if they are in corporate, that's why I help a lot of leaders in the corporate sector. And it is also important for them to understand what their brand is. Who are they being to the people that they are leading? What type of leader are they being? Are they connected to the company and the work that they are doing? Are they engaged? There was a great study by Gallup, the Gallup organization, that discovered that 70% of the people who are working in the US are disengaged from their jobs. That means that 7 out of every 10 people that we know who are working today are disengaged. So if that is true, what is making them feel that way? Why not, instead of going to work and just living like on automatic, like a robot every single day, waking up to do the same thing, dreading when it's Monday, being happy when it's Friday, but knowing that Monday is about to happen 2 days later? Why not have Fridays every single day? Why not find out where is it that we are disconnected or misaligned, and then finding that alignment. If it is not the right company to work for, then getting the courage to just move to a different type of company. When we are in alignment, the universe starts helping us do what we need to do to become even more successful than we ever were before.
Yes, and I love that. I know that a lot of my clients will say to me, well, I don't know if I can make money doing what I really love to do. And I agree with you that the more we drop into who we really are, the universe, it's a friendly universe, it's a loving universe. The opportunities, the people, everything you need is going to start to show up. When you show up, the universe shows up for you. So thank you for that reminder. That's really beautiful. Tell our audience how they can reach you if they would like to speak to you about working with you.
Sure. So I know that you're going to add my email, but our website is www.fulfilled.com. FUL Field, FILLED.com. And then my email is toti@youfulfilled.com. And I would love for people to just reach out if they need some help with the process. I came up with a process that I call the leadership experience and brand process. And we've been helping people, executives, with this process since 2014. And everybody that we've been able to touch, they have grown and have conquered so many barriers to be able to live and make their dreams a reality. So I would love people to be able to just, if there's something that is not feeling right in the way that their lives are today, in their careers, if something is just misaligned, it's just feeling off, reach out to us. We would love to help them. And we because you are such a special friend and somebody that we really respect, we have a special offering also for your tribe. So for the first 15 people that send me an email, toti@youfulfilled.com, I will personally give them a coaching session, 3-minute coaching session, where we will discover how is their brand feeling today, their personal brand. How are they feeling about the impact they're having in the world? And soon after that, in the middle of March, we will be launching online what we have been doing for all these clients since 2014. And we're going to have that program where we are going to just help people discover who they are and then go through the whole self-reflection through a number of exercises, and then build that personal brand that will help them. I mean, once you know who you are, it is very satisfying to just have that personal brand and carry that wherever you go.
Wonderful, and thank you so much. I will put the email and the website. If I were you, I would be running to the Facebook to sign up for that 30-minute coaching session. Toti is an amazing branding and marketing strategist. I know because she's shared her gifts with me as well. And I am so grateful to have had you here today, Toti. Gracias, hermana, te quiero mucho.
Yo también te quiero mucho. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, everyone, for watching today. You can join us again next week on Monday. And just remember that you are loved and you are loved. And we ask you to embrace all of who you are as we talked about today. Take care, everyone. Bye, Toti.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.